Very good evening and welcome to this webinar, The Art and Science of Success. How many of you know what is success? Can you type in your opinion, what is success? Can you type in the chat box? What do you think is success? Satisfaction, set goals and achieve them, happiness, achieving whatever we want to achieve my goals, achieve my dreams. When you excel in something, when you attain your goals, continuous journey, no destination, okay? Complete in all respects. I get what I want, desired results. Okay, fantastic. It's important that you have some idea of what is success so that then you would want to know how to be successful. Great. So whatever is your definition of success, in this webinar, what we are going to see is what is that art? What is that science? How do you achieve success? What do you do to get to success? What do you do to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve? And for that, we use a tool and a wonderful method, a highly researched methodology called NLP. Right? Now, how many of you have experienced that sometimes, or probably many times, you do something and you don't get a desired result? Another person, maybe your colleague, your brother, some friend, or whatever, does the same thing and he gets the result. Or sometimes reverse, somebody does something, doesn't get the result, but you did the same thing and you got the result. And then you wonder, how did that happen? You ask for a leave, you don't get your leave approved. Your colleague asks for the leave on the same day, he gets it approved. How does that happen? What is it that the other person did differently to be successful? Or sometimes what is it that you did differently to be successful? What created a change wherein one person got it and the other didn't? Right? What is it? What is it that created the change? And that is what we are going to look today. We're going to look at a wonderful thing called neuro linguistic programming. What is neuro linguistic programming? Neuro would be neurons, your nervous system, your neurons, your mind. Linguistic is the language you use, the language you use with yourself, language you use with others, right? And programming. So I'll come to that very quickly. You saw that this changes all these things. You do something, you get a result, the other doesn't, or sometimes you don't get, the other gets. There has to be something that is different, right? Two children of the same parent, same environment they grow in, same kind of education they get. One person does awesome, the other doesn't. There has to be something that they do different. Two people who join the military at the same time. One person grows only two or three ranks higher, the other person becomes the chief commandant of the military. There has to be something different that the person is doing. Two people join an organization, two classmates join a company at the same time. One person grows to be a manager, the other grows to become the director or probably the CEO of that company. What is it that that person did differently? Two people negotiating. One person gets the result, the other doesn't. What is it that they do differently? That study, NLP, is the study of the difference that makes the difference. Fine. So I repeat, NLP is about studying the difference that makes the difference. What is it that somebody does differently and the other doesn't? The difference that makes the difference. And it is this difference that has got them there, right? Otherwise, more or less other things were same. Same financial background, same educational background, same many things are same, but some people make it large. So what is that small difference that these guys make in their daily living, in their communication, in the way they deal with themselves, in the way they deal with others? What is that small difference? That difference that makes the difference. That's what we are going to see. Now let's have a quick idea of what is NLP. This art and science of success that we are going to talk about is primarily dependent on NLP. So very quick, Neuro is your thinking process. Do you think your thoughts define who you are and what to do and how you do it? Does your thought define who you are, what you do, how you will react, how you will uh, behave in a certain situation, etc.? Absolutely, yes. Your thought is everything. Correct? Now, what is thinking? What is these thoughts? This is all about how you perceive what is around you. So, whatever is coming from your senses, how do you make sense out of it? Two people who see the same scene, one person may get afraid, the other person may feel delighted. Two people walking on the street, one dog barks. One person may feel, wow, there's a dog around. The other person may feel, oh my God, there's a dog around. Right? So, how you make sense of the same information that comes to you from your senses. That is neuro, how your brain works. Linguistic is the language, the distinguishing factor that changes the way human beings exist from all other people, all other species. Do you agree that human being is the most advanced species? What do you think? What makes human beings different from all other species? How are we different from the lions, the tigers, the elephants, the donkeys, the monkeys, the horses, the sheep, the ants? How are we different? Look at the engineering of the body. If you look at the engineering of the body, human beings have more or less the same structure like other animals. Yes. Do we have more or less the same uh, respiratory system? We have lungs, we breathe in, we breathe out. Same senses, touch, seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling. A teeth to chew the food, a mouth to eat the food, throat to swallow the food, stomach to store the food, intestines to process the food, four limbs. More or less the engineering of the body is same. Yeah, we are erect and they are flat. That's one thing. But apart from that, more or less it is same. So what is it that makes human beings different from others? One is absolutely thinking. The way we think is very different than the way other animals think. The biggest difference is we think for excellence. We think how I can do better, how I can do nicer, how I can do good, how I can grow, how I can be more successful, how I can grow my business, how I can be better at relationships. Other animals deal maximum for survival. As long as they are surviving, they are okay. आज का खाना मिल गया, कल का कल देखेंगे, right? So they think for survival. That's right. Yes, right. Now, that's one thing. What else differentiates us from other animals? Apart from thinking, what differentiates us? The ability to communicate. How we communicate with other animals. Sorry, other human beings. Animals communicate with each other as well. A group of elephants do communicate with each other. A group of monkeys do communicate with each other. But that communication is very limited. The leader commands to the group and that's it. We have language. We have words. We have vocabulary. We have symbols. We have signs. We have different languages to deal with different people. We can make different meanings of the same word. The power of language that we have for communication. And how much of this language do we take for granted? We just take language for granted, right? The fact that we can speak, we take it for granted. There is so much in language that you can do. There is one more thing that sets human beings apart from other animals. The primary reason for our growth, for our evolution till now, is also related to our thumb. And I'm sure most of you did not know this. Speaking or language and thinking, you had some idea, but thumb. Our thumb has a huge role to play in our development as human beings. If you see only human beings and little bit of monkeys, they have the ability where the thumb can face the fingers. The thumb can face the fingers. That's only with us. No other animal has this ability except human beings and monkeys. Now, what has this to do with development? Thumb can face the fingers. So what? How does that help for development? The thumb can face the fingers, enables us to create tools. Then we were able to throw early ages. We were able to pick something, throw something, Then we thought, okay, if I can throw, if it is sharp, I can make it easy to hunt. Then we created tools. Then we created weapons. Then we created agricultural tools. Then we created mechanical tools. Then we created the industrial revolution. Then we knew we can type. Then we created the IT revolution. Then again, we knew we can touch with the thumb. And that created another revolution. We can write. All of this is possible because our thumb can face our palm. This feature is not there with other animals. And because we could do this, that created more and more evolution. This probably very few people knew. So, anyways, the thumb facing the palm is one thing, but language and thinking, these are very, very powerful tools that we have. And that is what differentiates us from other species. Okay. So, that is language, linguistic, the words that you use. Language that you use with whom? With whom? Which language are we talking about? The language that you use with yourself and the language that you use with others. The kind of words you use with yourself and with others decides how much influence you have on yourself and on others. And then the third part is programming. Programming means your behavior, the apps that are already installed in you, the programs that are already installed in you, how you organize your ideas and your actions. And that produce either expected or unexpected results. This together is neuro-linguistic programming. How you think, how you communicate, and how you behave. If you can master these three, can you master almost anything in the world? How you think, how you communicate, and your behavior. Do you think if you can master these three, you will master almost anything in the world? How many of you agree? Absolutely. Right? So, this mastering these three is what the art and science of success is all about. That is what it is all about. And how to master this is what we are going to see today. What is the process to master this? Right? Now, to do this, I have with me a friend of mine. His name is Mehernosh Randeria. And here's everything that you wanted to know about him. Mehernosh Randeria is a chartered accountant. He is a cost and works accountant, masters in financial management, international leadership programs he have done. He has a diploma in international finance. He has played the role of CFO for some companies. He is a certified financial planner, certified wealth manager, chartered wealth manager. This is his educational qualification. Then he has other qualifications. He is a certified coach from International Coach Federation, certified trainer of NLP itself. He is the first person who got certified with me as a Brainival facilitator. When I invented the Brainival, he was the first one to come over and become a certified trainer of Brainival, which most of you have attended. He is a gold medalist and a master trainer in musical Windows system. He is a certified GTD trainer, a very powerful system. He is an emotional skills assessment process administrator. He is a licensed trainer of emotional fitness. And he is also a K11 certified fitness trainer, means he is also a gym instructor. He was a vice president of finance with Legro, then director of finance with Johnson Controls, so a lot of, and chief CFO at Nissan. Wonderful positions that he has held. And now he has put all this knowledge together to do what he calls as WWW training, which is wealth, wisdom, and wellness training. So that's what Mehernosh does. And I've invited him to give you overview of what is NLP. He's a wonderful, and how much I have known Mehernosh, I've seen that he is a walking vocabulary of NLP. He lives NLP, he breathes NLP, he drinks NLP, he does everything NLP. And I've invited him here to do this lecture with me. So I'm going to hand over to Mehernosh for some time, and then I will take over again once he is done. He is here for another 25 to 30 minutes. So he'll take over, and then I'll take over again. Mehernosh,
Thank you,
thank
Pawan.
you for joining in, and over to you. The crowd is waiting to hear to you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the art and science of success. So, Pawan has already given you some overview about what NLP is, neuro linguistic programming. The three parts that make this topic, that make this subject so vast and so powerful, is the way we manage our mind, the way we manage our words, because words are a window to our thought processes. And finally, the programming that happens, the behavior In fact, when the founders of NLP, that is Richard Bandler and John Grinder, founded this field way back in 1970s, they called it NLP because they thought that it was a way to, to understand the mechanics, the integration of the thinking, the words, and the behavior. But the way I have understood this, going ahead and applying it, is that okay, there is one thing that is there behind the way the mind works, the way our language works, and the way we have been programmed. But the other aspect of it is that the way you have been programmed doesn't need to define the way you are going to be in the years to come. So there is a role that the programming plays. And according to me, I would like to kind of rename this entire field to call it neuro linguistic reprogramming. And that is the clear power of this. When you understand it, that how your mechanics are, what your patterns are working within you, and wherever needed, you can actually go and change them. And mind you, I use the words wherever needed. I don't claim to say that whatever you have been programmed or whatever your patterns are entirely wrong and you have to change them. No, no, no. You are where you are because certain things are working. You could have been better than that when you realize that, yeah, some things that you're doing somewhere are not working that well. And often we focus our attention only to the behavior, the actions, the results. But what we don't realize is that the way we think about that subject, the way we think about life, the way we have our attitude towards things around us, that determines a lot about our actions and the results. So neuro-linguistic programming is a vast field to understand, a very powerful field to understand how we can figure out our own thought patterns, become more aware of it, realize whether they are working, which ones are working, which ones are not working, and then make the choice of taking action if that action needs to be taken to make some changes. So are we all interested to know more about NLP? Type in yes in the comment box. Awesome. Great. Super. So I'm going to share with you what was behind the implementation or the creation of this wonderful, beautiful, powerful field. What did the founders have in mind when they thought about coming up with this superb process of figuring out who you are, what you can do? So there were three key applications which were behind this field. The first one is the simple principle, very simple principle, that if somebody can do it, anybody can do it. Like in the beginning, Pavan gave you some examples how in your field of life, wherever you are working, some things you want to achieve, and you realize that somebody else is achieving it with so much of ease. How do they do that? In NLP, we have a kind of a saying that goes that as an NLP practitioner, instead of asking how do you do, we ask how do you do that. There is a beautiful element of curiosity to understand that if something is working for somebody else, what is that difference which is making that difference? And if you are able to spot that difference that makes the difference, that can actually be installed in your own thinking patterns. And that is the very first application of NLP, which is called as modeling success. I'm sure there are a lot of things that you admire, you really want to achieve, which other people have achieved. It could be someone like Steve Jobs or Swami Vivekananda, whoever it is, some role model that you may have. This role model may not be a very famous personality. It could be one of your mentors. It could be a boss you once worked with. It could be your parent, someone who you really look up to. And you wish, if I could do just that, if I could think the way they thought in that moment, what difference would I bring to the situation? How would I achieve this particular outcome? How would I overpower this particular obstacle? And this is the first key application that where you can apply NLP. And let me also tell you one thing, that when I say about modeling success, it's not about doing a copy paste. It's not about directly just saying what others are doing and forgetting your own identity. It's about retaining your identity. As I told you earlier, understanding what is already working well for you. And on top of that, integrating anything else that you see working in others. So that you make the best of all the worlds, not just both worlds, you make the best of all the worlds and make your success your own. So that is the number one application. Okay, talking about modeling success, there is one more element to that. I'm saying that you can model other people's success. But the beauty of NLP is that we can even model our own success. And to relate to that, I invite you to think about situations where at times, sometimes you found it difficult to achieve a task. And then you just surpassed your own expectations. You just made it happen. And looking back, you think, how did I do that? And looking in the future, probably there is some element, some kind of similar context coming up later as well, where you are wondering, how will I do that? What will happen? That time we often forget that we were the ones who had made it happen earlier as well. We forget our own power. Now, when we talk about modeling success, it's also about modeling what was the difference that you made. What was the difference that made a difference in your own past achievements that you can replicate in your future situations in any other context? So that is about modeling success. The second key application of NLP is about fixing problems. Now, what kind of problems are these? Any kind of things that maybe it could be a fear, an anxiety, some kind of nervousness, lack of confidence, any issue that people are facing, they are able to overcome it when they apply and find out what are their past patterns and what needs to be changed in order to achieve that. So that is about fixing problems. In fact, there are a lot of processes in NLP which are really simple. When I say processes, you don't need to be a psychologist there is no rocket science behind it. It is simple processes based on some powerful principles of NLP. For example, there are processes that can help you to cure a phobia. There are principles and tools that can help you to cure any kind of addiction. Anything that is negative behavior, we often, stress ourselves by saying that, there is this one negative thing I want to overcome. I wish I could do that. And at a logical, conscious level, you know that this is a negative behavior. It is not helping you at all. But through NLP processes, we are able to find out how that can be easily overcome. So that's about fixing problems. And the third one is there are people who think there are no problems. That's fine, perfectly fine. Your life may be wonderful, good, great going in life. And people may say that, okay, I have everything is good. Now, do you know what is the enemy of being great? What can come in the way of greatness? Well, good is the enemy of great. Many people are so good and comfortable in their own lives that they don't even realize what else they can achieve. What could possibly be the next level? That does not mean that you don't have to be content with what you have. Definitely be content with that. Be grateful about that. But how about getting to the next level? What could be that next level? What could be your true potential? Pawan just showed you my profile. There was a time in my life when I was feeling that I've achieved already a lot of things. And today I still feel that I am a work in progress. There is a lot of scope for continuous growth. And that is what you can achieve excellence through. Where you go to see that, okay, what else can you do? What else is possible? Most people are not even aware about their own full potential. Friends, the point here is that if you achieve a small goal, if you achieve a high goal, if you aim for a high goal, and you don't achieve it, it's still okay. But if you achieve a low goal and you achieve it, that happiness, that joy can actually prevent you from achieving your greatness, your full potential. In fact, that can stop you from even realizing what all you can be, who all you can be. So through NLP, it has helped a lot of people, including me, to realize that what could be the full potential. So I invite you to look at this from a point of view wherever you are. I'm sure you will find a way in which you can apply NLP in your life. So now with that, let's talk a bit about success. By the way, this webinar is all about the art and science of success. So I invite you to think that what could be those key traits, those key characteristics of successful people that differentiate them from other people. What could they be? Can you please type in the chat box? What are those elements, those traits of successful people that differentiate them from other people? Discipline, okay, consistency, resilience, growth mindset, creative thinking, committed, hardworking. Yes, don't miss an opportunity. Growth minded. They value time, attitude, mindset, focus. Wow, eagerness for new things, helping others, persistence. Awesome. Yes, reading, courage, curious, never give up. Okay, determination, daily routine. Awesome. Great, great, great. So I'm going to share with you the key mindset of success. We call them the three pillars of NLP. So let's see what these are. And then I would like you to kind of integrate all the points that you have put and see that where your trait that you have put in, which element that does that relate to. So that these are the top three secrets of success. The first one is clarity about the outcome. Successful people are very clear about what they want to achieve, what they are doing, and for what purpose they are doing what they are doing. What is the higher purpose? Now, there are two ways to look at outcome. One way is to know that, okay, where am I headed towards? What is my vision 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? Or even if I don't want to stretch that much further, what is my vision for this particular year? For 2021, I entered 2021 with a huge wheel after probably a hard 2020 for most people. Now, what next? What is different about 2021? How would I like to end this year? That is about outcome. Another thing could be that it could be whatever goals you're working on. It could be your wealth goals, wisdom goals, or wellness goals, your fitness goals, your money goals, your business goals, your relationship goals. What are you expecting in each area of your life? That kind of clarity of outcome is one of the key ingredients for success. And the other thing is that whatever you're doing right now, what is that doing for you? There are people who have a very, very busy day. And at the end of the day, you ask them, what did you do? How was your day? And they'll say, very busy, very busy. I was doing so many things. And you ask them, what did you achieve today? And then they are wondering, well, what did I achieve today? Sorry, I'm not able to pinpoint it. And that means there is a lack of outcome, lot of action. There's a terminology called MAFA, MAFA, mistaking action for achievement. बहुत कुछ किया, लेकिन end में result कुछ नहीं मिला. So whatever you are doing, what is that higher goal, that higher purpose that you have in mind? That is all about outcome orientation. The second pillar of success is awareness. See, outcome is about knowing where you want to go. And awareness is about understanding where you are today. Not just where you are today in terms of with respect to your outcome, relative to your outcome. That is one aspect. I'm talking about being more aware about every present moment that you are in. The mindfulness that we often talk about in this world. Our mind is so full that we are no longer mindful. And mindfulness is about being that moment and understanding what am I sensing? What am I observing? What am I grasping through my ear, through my eyes right now? Although you are focusing at the screen, you are seeing this chart coming up, you are maybe on a laptop screen or a mobile screen. But while you're focusing on that, there is lots more in your peripheral vision that you are capable of absorbing. Now, I'm not saying that everything matters. We cannot pay attention to everything. But what is it that you can become more aware of? Not just about things around you in general, but also with relation to people around you. How do you notice the way they are talking? Are you only focusing on their words? Or are you only focusing on their tonality? Or are you focusing on the complete picture? Are you looking at their body language as well? What do you think that physiology is indicating to you? And how are you making sense of it? Awareness is also understanding what do I feel about the current moment right now? What emotions am I going through? Right now, if I ask you, what are you feeling right now? Some people may say, yeah, I'm feeling good. Some people may say, not feeling that good. Now, good and not good, they are not emotions. They are not feelings. By feelings, I mean, I'm sure you are feeling curious to understand more. Some of you are curious what could be possibly the third pillar. Some of you are curious, what am I going to get by the end of this 1 hour today? That is a feeling, that is an emotion of curiosity. Some of you are excited to know more. Some of you are happy to be here. How often have we got in touch and aware about the what are we experiencing within us? That is all about awareness, awareness of our mind, awareness of our senses. By senses, I mean all our five senses. The senses of sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. Taste and smell, we have ignored so much, but COVID times have actually shown us the importance of taste and smell, isn't it? So that's about awareness, and there's lots more. I'm just kind of touching the tip of the iceberg over here, but I hope you are getting a lot of value from whatever you're understanding about the top three secrets of success. The third one is successful people believing in having flexibility. Although they know and they are very clear about what their end outcome is, they are flexible about the ways in which that outcome can be achieved. There is not just one way. It's not just my way or the highway, and this is the only way to do it. There is a flexibility in terms of behavior that what else is possible? How else can it be done? And then there is a kind of a check, a cross check that, okay, there are so many different ways to do it. Which of those actually fit in well with my values and beliefs? It's certainly not necessary that there is only one thing that fits with your personality. There could be multiple things. How open are you? How curious are you, rather, to look at different ways in which the same outcome can be achieved? Flexibility is not only about behavior and actions, flexibility is also about the thought process. We are often tuned in to look at a certain thing only in a certain manner, a very straitjacketed approach to which we interpret things. Our mind allows us to interpret things only in one particular manner. How about being open to see that what else could be possible? What else could this mean? Rather than applying your preconceived notions. And by preconceived notions, I don't mean to say it in a judgmental manner. I'm just trying to invite you to think about what patterns are there that are creating the preconceived notions. Some of them may be right, some of them may be useful, others think about. So these are the top three secrets of success. And if you look at whatever answers you put, you will find that somewhere or the other, this somewhere matches with these. They will fall into one of these three categories. For example, persistence, focus is all about the outcome, the flexibility, resilience, hard work, risk taking. It's all about risk taking is nothing but flexibility, keeping in mind the outcome, isn't it? courage, curiosity, helping others. It's all part of these three pillars. Whatever you have put in, there's all part of these three pillars. They integrate everything. And these are also the three pillars of NLP. Well, I read in the chat box someone is saying talent, where talent is also realizing the awareness that what talent is needed and what talent you have, and the flexibility of achieving that talent too, right? So that's about the three pillars of success. All the NLP tools and techniques are based on these three pillars and how to develop these three pillars furthermore within you. And I would like to just give you an analogy over here of Google Maps. If you want to travel from one place to another and you don't know the way, what do? You open up Google Maps and Google asks you, where do you want to go? That is outcome. Once you put that, the map will ask you, where are you now? That is awareness. And once that is done, the map will only give you different routes, may give you 2 different routes, 3 different routes, so many more. And it is your flexibility of choosing what is the appropriate route for you. So with that, let's do a quick activity. Okay, I invite you to just look at what is going to come up on the screen right now and type in the chat box, what do you see? Please type in the chat box, what do you see? Anger, you, type in the chat box. What do you see? What do you observe? Unhappy, blaming, yelling, you are the cause, you, a photo, okay, anger, shouting, type in, what do you observe? Blame, frustration, a man motivating himself in the mirror, okay, finger, angry man pointing at you and saying something, furious guy complains, irritation, yelling, blaming, frustrated, angry, blaming, you can do it, a bald man, okay, truth, okay, you are lazy, threatening, does not have hair, okay, all right, okay, stop. Motivating, very angry, okay, stop. Now listen to the question carefully. Stop, 1 minute. Listen to the question carefully. I'm going to ask the question again and listen to the question carefully and now type in. My question is, type in, what do you observe? What do you see? By the way, my question is still the same. This time I want you to listen. Type in, what do you see? A human, an angry man, the screen, I see a picture, a photo. Yeah, what do you see? What do you observe? An image, a man pointing finger, a white man, bald man pointing finger, pointing at you. Yes, the earlobe. Blaming, do you see the blaming? A man pointing finger, a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, he's pointing at me. Good. What else? Wonderful. Eyebrows. Man who is angry with finger pointing at me. Angry. A man with a finger pointing at me. Yes, but angry. Irritated. Beard. Yes, pointing finger. Scolding. Think about it. Okay. Okay. Stop. You have read most of the answers. A man pointing to something. Okay. What is the difference between the way you answered the first time around and the way you answered the second time? What is the difference? Please type in. Yeah, first time you put emotions, second was physical, perception. Yeah, good. No difference. Okay. Judgmental and non-judgmental, perspective, no emotions, less assumptions. Yes. Yeah, for some it was the same. But I want you to look back what were the answers and see what was the difference in the majority of the answers. Give a thought, what you saw. Awesome. First was serious, other was funny. Okay. Yeah, it's all about the perception. You observe the face. First was understanding. Stereotypical, yes. First was as per the patterns. Very good point. There are patterns that we run in our head, don't we? We have seen this kind of an image. We have seen people who do this and we don't like it. We feel we are at the gunpoint, we are at the finger point, we feel at the end of blame, and we think, we know, rather, I don't say we think, we know that this person is blaming us. And immediately our mind jumps to saying, this is blame, this is anger. Sometimes we have seen other people do it, sometimes we have done it. And we know that this is anger, this is irritation, this is frustration, this is blame. Now, what did I ask you? I asked you, type in what do you observe? And what did you type in? You all typed in what you interpreted about what you observed. I'm not saying that what you did is wrong. I'm just trying to point your attention to the fact that this is a default mechanism. We go by the default responses, our default patterns to say that this is what it is, and we don't see anything else beyond what we think it is. To the extent that we do not even process the question when I asked you what you observe, we were so sure that we observed an angry man. If you look up the chat, you saw that there were other perceptions, other interpretations as well. Some people wrote that it's a coach. It's someone who's saying you can do it. It's someone who's motivating somebody else. So which one is right? Is it anger? Is it motivation? Is it inspiring? Is it a coach? We don't know. We really don't know. Because either of these are going to be our assumptions. But the point here is to realize that if we are interpreting, first if we be observant and if we know that yeah, this is an interpretation, the moment we realize it's an interpretation, we also become aware to the fact that this is only one of the ways in which it could be interpreted, which means there could be other ways in which it can be interpreted. You've seen how people have already interpreted it differently. There could be many more different interpretations also. So it's not about saying whether your interpretation is right or wrong. It's only about pausing and reflecting that through my five senses, or rather through my visual sense, what I captured was a man pointing a finger, having a beard, eyebrows frowned, nose twitched, teeth showing, mouth rounded. That is it. That is my observation. Now, what else could be possible? That is an interpretation. Can we observe, or rather, can we pause every time we jump to an interpretation? I'm sure it's not easy, but NLP shows you the way about where, in which situations you may need to pause before you jump to a conclusion. NLP does not say that you stop jumping to conclusions and never interpret and never assume. No, it just says that be aware that what is the fact and what is the assumption. And be open to explore and find out and curious that is this assumption really the only assumption? Could there be a different way that I am probably missing out? And before we start making sense of what is going on in other person's mind, can we make sense of our own senses first? And this is one of the starting points of the awareness that I spoke about in the three pillars. How can you become more and more aware about your senses? This was just a short demo. I hope you got at least some takeaway from just this small exercise, that what you can start doing differently with people around you, with situations around you. Anyway, there is lots more coming up in this webinar, and I want to hand it over back to Pawan to take you through some more exciting and interesting insights about success and successful people. Thank you. Over to you, Pawan.
Thank you, Mehernosh. This was awesome. This was wonderful. And thank you for enlightening the crowd. Great. So how is it so far, guys? Loving this? Enjoying this? Yes? Perfect. Okay. So you saw what are the three key applications of NLP: modeling success, fixing problems, achieving excellence. You saw the three pillars: outcome orientation, being aware, and then being flexible. And then you saw this exercise about observation. What you see is not necessarily what it is. You probably it can be something different also, right? Now we are going to see something more interesting. Do you think do you think the way you sit or the way you stand or the way you walk with somebody can change the outcome of a discussion? Maybe yes, it will. Okay, fine. Let's have a look. What kind of people do we like? If you were to buy something, let us say you are about to buy a TV and there are two shops. One shop is a random shop, another shop is your friend's shop. Where will you buy the TV from? From your friend's shop. Why? He sells better TVs? Does he necessarily sell a better TV? Just because he's your friend, you know him. Even if he doesn't give you any extra discount compared to the other shop, if he gives you the same brand at the same cost compared to the other shop, you will still buy from your friend. Why? Because you think there is trust, right? We like people who are like us. We are influenced by people whom we like, and we like people who are like us. Means people also like people who are like them and they get influenced by them. So if you want to influence people, you need to be like them. How do you be like them? Do you change your existence? Just because you want to be like somebody, do you change your job from an IT company and join a bank, or change the bank and join a medical store or something like that? No. There are psychological methods by which you can make a person feel that you are just like them. And the moment that person feels you're like them, that person will instantly start getting influenced by you. I'll give you a simple example. Imagine you have gone to a jungle safari. You went somewhere in Kenya for a jungle safari. Okay. There are about 30 people in the bus that is going through the jungle. And there are 30 people from different nations. Right? Something happens and the bus breaks down. The tire is punctured or something happens. So the driver asks everybody to get down. He needs to reduce the weight of the bus to fix the bus or whatever. So he asks everybody to get down. And he tells you to stand in a group so that if there is any animal around, you will not be attacked. So you're all standing together in one line. Okay. You are on one side of the line. Somewhere in the middle of the group, there are some other people from your country. So if you're from India, there are some Indians, or if you're from US, there are some US people, and you could recognize that they are from your country. And now it so happens that you actually see a tiger approaching the group. You see that a tiger is coming closer. What will you naturally tend to do? You are on one side of the group. There are some people of your country in the middle, and then there is the rest of the group, and you see a tiger approaching. What will you naturally do? Automatically do? Will you automatically go and stand where the Indians are, or where your group people are? If you run away, you will be alone. The tiger will catch you. So you will not run away. You will be with the group. Within the group, will you automatically go and change your position? Now, is it necessary that people of your country are better equipped to save you from the tiger? Not necessary. Anybody can save you or nobody can save you. But you automatically feel like going there simply because they are from your country. You feel safe. You feel safe among people who are like you, and hence people get influenced by people who are like you. And then there are methods by which you can make people feel that you are like them. And I'm not saying this to manipulate things. No, this is for influence. You can do it for good things also. And how? Simply by sitting like that person. You can influence the negotiation, influence a deal. Simply by standing like that person, you can influence a deal. And I'll show you where it happens. Let me show you some pictures at what levels this happens. Even people who know this, they still use this and they still get into this. Look at this. Who are these people? Cameron and Obama. What are they doing? Right? Look at the way they are standing. Look at the way they are holding their jackets. Look at how they are looking down, both of them. Next picture. Look at how they are looking at each other. Look at how they are talking. Look at the smile. Look at the way their hands are. Look at the way their legs are. Look at how much the neck is tilted. Simply sitting like the other person, making an attempt to influence each other. Because at that level, that is their role, right? Influence each other. Next, next part of this training. So this was about how do you be somewhere? How do you remain somewhere to influence people? Now, next part of this, the language that you use. Manoj is asking, is Modi ji trained on NLP? I don't know, but I am sure he is. I don't definitely know this answer, but most senior people, somewhere or other, knowingly or unknowingly, are trained on these things. And that's how they get there. Either they are trained or they naturally know this. Right? Some things you know by nature, some things you learn. Right? Okay. Next, the language that you use. Now tell me, if you want to put a percentage, how much percentage do you talk with yourself? Total communication that you do in your life. How much do you think is the percentage that you communicate with others, and how much is the percentage that you communicate with yourself? Murli is saying 99 1, somebody saying 50 2%, 95%, 70%, 80% ourselves, 90% ourselves, 90 is to 10, 75, 25. Okay, sorry. If I tell you all the communication you do is 100% with yourself, would you agree? All the communication you do in your life is 100% with yourself. No, right? You do communicate with others. You do talk with other people. But how do you talk with other people? So first of all, let me tell you, if you take that aside, then almost 90 to 95% of your communication is always with yourself, just with yourself. The remaining 5% is with other people, but that also is based on how you perceive that other person. Think about it. You walk on the street and you are meeting a person somewhere. You meet with that person, you have some discussion with that person, and somehow another person comes and greets that person and tells you that this person is the brother of the president of this country, some country. Does automatically the way you talk change? Will automatically the way you deal with that person change? Yes. Means you think you're talking to that person, but you are actually talking to the mental reflection of that person in your mind. And that's why your method of speaking changes. So more or less, almost always you're talking with yourself. Still, if you want to segregate, we can say 90% is real self-talk, means you talking with yourself. 10% is what you talk with others. In that case, in that case, how important it is for you to be very careful about the words you use with yourself. To be very choosy about the words you use with yourself. Let's do a quick exercise. I want you all, and this exercise, I want every single person to participate. Okay. I've kept the chat private, so you are not disturbing others and others are not disturbing you. But still, I want everybody to type in because I can read the chat. Here is what I want you to do. I want you to type in something that you cannot do. However, I want you to type in like this: I cannot, and then something. It could be I cannot fly, I cannot swim, I cannot drive, whatever is that you cannot do. Okay. Type in I cannot, and then whatever that action is. Type in the chat box. I cannot do a pull up. I cannot. live without Formula One. I cannot swim. I cannot study. I cannot lie to myself. I cannot do marketing. I cannot hesitate. I cannot meditate. I cannot run like Bolt. I cannot study. I cannot do 100 bench presses. I cannot lie. I cannot cook. I cannot work. I cannot be good. I cannot earn money. Oh, wow. I cannot swim. I cannot focus. I cannot stop drinking tea. I cannot concentrate on reading and studying. I cannot relax. Okay, great. Now, how does it feel when you type this? Do you feel good when you type this or do you feel bad when you type this? I cannot do this. I cannot do that. You feel bad, right? Depressive, bad. Unless you said some good things like I cannot lie, then you may be feeling good. But otherwise, all those other things, I cannot swim, I cannot dance, I cannot study, I cannot meditate. These are all demotivating statements. Now, I want you to write the same statement like this. I cannot, whatever you had wrote earlier. For example, if you said I cannot swim, then I want you to write like this. I cannot swim, comma, yet. Y-E-T, yet. So type the same sentence followed by comma, yet. And observe what happens inside you when you type this sentence. So I can't swim yet. I can't wake up early yet. I can't do marketing yet. I cannot study yet. I cannot control my emotions yet. I cannot talk to strangers yet. I cannot fly yet. Good. Very good, Purushottam. Great. Now, how does it feel? Now, how does it feel? Does it feel limiting and demotivating, or does it feel hopeful, motivating, possibility, motivating, right? At least the possibility got created. Now, tell me which of the two sentences is truth? Which of the two sentences is definite truth? The first one or the second one? The second one is a definite truth. First one is your assumption. The first one, I cannot swim, is your assumption. But I cannot swim yet is the truth. Maybe tomorrow you can. At least what now, just by using this change, what you did is you put that that fact, that delimiting thing, that um, demotivating thing in the past. Just by saying I cannot swim yet, you put it in the past, thereby opening the possibility in the future. But when you say I cannot swim, it becomes a permanent statement for past, present, and future. And this is the change that you create when you stop or when you start using this kind of language. The words that you use in your self-talk when you're talking with yourself, right? Now, some people cannot wake up early. If you say, I cannot wake up early, what does that mean? Past, present, future, I cannot wake up early. If you say, I cannot wake up early yet, at least you open the possibility. And if you say, I choose to wake up late, is that an arrogant statement or an empowering statement? I choose to wake up late. It is empowering. Although it is a bit on the other side, what it does is it creates a possibility in your mind that it's not that I cannot wake up. It is just that I choose to wake up late. If I can make a choice, once you start telling yourself you made a choice, you naturally tell yourself you can make other choices also. And then when you have choices, you'll always make a better choice. Every day when you didn't wake up early, tell yourself, today I chose to wake up late. You'll see automatically you get empowered and you start making the right choices. The language that you use with yourself is very important. So another thing that NLP teaches us is mind your language. The language patterns. There are a lot of language patterns in NLP. The language that you use with yourself, the language that you use with others, just using the right words, the right combinations can influence people, can help people do, can help you get things done. right? So mind your language. Whether you are a manager, whether you are a parent, whether you are a friend, whether you, if you are dealing with people, then language is important. And if you are dealing with yourself, then language is even more important, right? In when you were a child, you learn language, right? When you were a child, when you were a kid, you started learning language, probably 6 months, 8 months when you started speaking. You learned language even before that because you were still hearing. School taught you grammar, right? Eventually, life taught you communication. So, childhood, people around you taught you language. School taught you grammar. Life taught you communication. NLP teaches you influence. What is it that you do in your language? Different formats, there are multiple formats there to influence yourself and people both. Next thing, Vernos told you that you should be behavior, flexible with your behavior. That is a very important thing in success, which means you need to learn to manage your emotions. Correct? Being flexible with your behavior means you should be able to manage the state of your mind. I won't say control it, but I'll say manage it. What if I told you you can be sad when you want, you can be happy when you want, you can be angry when you want, you can be excited when you want? How powerful would that be? Irrespective of what just happened, you can choose what is your state in the next event. You may have had a bad morning at home, but you have a very important meeting with your client as soon as you reach office, and you don't want that bad morning at home to affect your work in office. What can you do to instantly change your state? You may have had a bad day at office, but that day is your marriage anniversary. You want to make sure you are happy and romantic in the evening because you don't want that office day to spoil your wonderful evening. What can you do to change your state? There are things you can do to change your state also. There are wonderful things in NLP, and these are not motivational stuff. These are techniques and methods. Like in the Brainival workshop, I taught you techniques and methods, how to move your eyes, how to use the guide. Likewise, these are techniques and methods, and very simple techniques and methods. I'll give you a sample of this, and you'll immediately know how state changes. Okay, let's do an exercise. Here is what I want you to do. I want all of you to, if you are lying around, if you're walking around, then please get seated. Sit. Okay. Then shrink your shoulders. All of you shrink your shoulders. Make your face very small. Make your eyes very small, like a sad face. Loosen up your body. Put your face down like this. Make a very sad face. Put your face down. Very loose body. And keeping this physiology intact, keeping this body state intact, loose and sad face and all that. Try to recall a very happy moment of your life. Try to recall a very happy moment of your life. Try hard. Could you do it? No, right? You cannot. And even if you were able to do it, it was probably after a lot of effort. Very difficult. So you might have been taught in your life that the brain controls the body. Here I just showed you that the body can control the brain. The brain cannot recall a happy moment just based on how I keep my body. Every state in your mind is connected with some state of your body. And if you're able to find or create these connections, and by changing how your body is, you can change the state of your mind. By sitting like this, you can have a different state. By sitting like this, you can have a different state. By sitting like this, you can have a different state. Just by changing your pose, you can change your state like this. There are methods in NLP for that. Let's do a quick different version of this. I don't want you to feel sad for a long time. Okay. So all of you, sit straight, sit straight, shoulders back, head high. Put a nice smile on your face. Put a good smile, twinkling eyes, bright eyes, big eyes, nice smile on your face. And with this wonderful face and a wonderful smile on your face, try to recall a sad moment of your life. Try hard to recall a sad moment of your life. Could you do it? No? All your sad moments are gone. So next time you feel sad, but you need to feel happy, do this. Or if you feel happy, but you need to feel sad, do this. There are people who like to feel sad sometimes. Anyways, outcome you will decide, method I will give. Right? So it won't allow. Third exercise, sit straight, shoulders back, eyes bright, a good smile on your face. And now recall a wonderful, happy moment of your life, a powerful moment of your life, an enlightening moment of your life. Recall all the happy moments of your life. Do they come fast now? Reached in that moment, lived that moment. Okay. Yes, yes. There are ways to connect your body to your states. And this was just a sample, again, like Meherno said, tip of the iceberg. NLP is research of a few decades. But these are methods. Those who are in my reading challenge, they already know Mehernosh has given you a method of how to create curiosity. How to create curiosity, because when you're reading a book, if you're curious, you will absorb better, correct? There are ways to do something instantly to create curiosity. And like there are ways to have any state that you want. Confident, a state to have excited. If you are interview, you want to be confident. If you are having a game, you want to be excited. If you're reading, you want to be curious, etc., etc. How do you do that? If you're giving an exam, you want to be focused. How do you create those states? How do you have them as and when you want them at order? That's what states for NLP is. Next. So this was managing emotions. Next. It's like understanding the thinking processes. Now, what do you do with a smartphone? A smartphone by itself is nothing. What makes it really smart? If there were no apps, it is just a feature phone, right? What is a smartphone? A smartphone is where you can install the apps that you want, remove the apps that you don't want. You are like a smartphone. You can install the behavior that you want, remove the behavior that you don't want. Or install the behavior that you want here, then remove it, then go there, install the behavior that you want there, then remove it, then go there and do it. You can have behaviors at will, just like you install apps on the phone. It is about understanding the thinking processes, how it works, and then using it to your advantage, making it work for you. So that's what NLP is about. Letting that change happen for you, right? Who can get help from NLP? Who is NLP for? Anybody and everybody. It is for you if you are a professional, if it's for you if you are an actor, it is for you if you are a doctor, it is for you if you are a lawyer. Who doesn't need to communicate with people? Everybody. It is for you if you are a student, it is for you if you are a mother, it is for you if you are a father because you have to deal with your child. What if there were methods to influence your child to do the right things? What if there were methods to influence your parents to do the right things? What if there were methods to influence your colleagues, your employees to do what is best for you? NLP can help you do all of this. And that is the power of NLP. Anybody and everybody needs it. Fine. So now, with all this in the background, me and Mehernosh, we are conducting a full program. How many of you want to take this to the next level? Learn this in detail. It's very powerful, very awesome, and very, very rewarding. Those who have done the course till now, they have really, really benefited a lot from this. They have made wonders. They have achieved a lot in their jobs, in their businesses, in their family, in their social circles, in their friends, right? Now, this NLP is a very, very detailed course. We are going to do a course starting coming Saturday, which is 13th of February. It will go on for 5 weekends from coming Saturday. From 13th February, it will go on for 5 weekends, 3 hours every Saturday and Sunday. That is 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. India time, every Saturday and Sunday. So it is a total of 30 hours of course, 10 days. So 5 weekends into 2 days, that is 10 days, and 10 days, 3 hours every day. So that is 30 hours of a course. A very powerful course, very wonderful course. Now, in this course, you're going to learn all those things that we told you here and a lot more things. There are things that you like to eat or people want you to eat, or you know it is good for you, but you don't like it. How to create a liking for it? There are things that you like a lot, but you know it is bad for your health. How do you remove that liking? There are people that you don't like, but you have to deal with them. How to deal with them? How to influence people? How to create negotiations? How to empower yourself? How to have different states as and when you need them? How to use language? What are the various things you do in language? All of this is power packed into this course. Mernosh is himself trained by multiple NLP trainers, NLP master trainers, and he is like an authority into this. I have myself learned from him as well, and we together conduct this course. It's a very powerful course, very wonderful course, and absolutely beneficial. That much I can guarantee. Okay. Now, this course, typically, uh, a typical NLP course, when you do it in classroom sessions, is a 5 or a 6 day course, 5 full days or 6 full days. Now, what happens when you do a course like that is you learn a lot, but you don't have time to implement. Then, when you come back from the course, there is a lot of backlog because you are not around for 5 6 days in your office or home. Then you clear that backlog, and in that time frame, the learning gets dissolved. However, the advantage of this course is that you learn a little bit every weekend. You have 5 days to implement what you have learned, and you don't have to do separate exercises. You implement it in your day to day communication with people. So you implement it, you see how it goes, you have your feedback, you have your output, you have your outcome. Then you come back the next weekend. We help you get better at it. You have queries, we resolve it. You've probably seen in all my sessions, I'm always there till the last question is answered, right? So we do that for every NLP training. We answer all questions, then we empower you further with new knowledge. Again, you have an entire week to implement. And then, so it is not something where you are worried, I will learn, but will I implement? You implement this through the course, not after the course. That's why it is very powerful. Now, when classroom sessions were happening before COVID, a typical NLP course anywhere would cost you somewhere around 60,000 rupees. And that's what cost of our classroom course also is. For now, we are not doing classroom courses. We have not started those yet. And our online course is 30,000 rupees. And we also have an option where you can buy a video course. Means it's not live for you, but you can see the recording of the course. Every day we do the lecture, we upload the recording and you can see it. And that recording cost is only 14,700 rupees. And for today, because you attended this webinar, you have given your Sunday evening, we have a very, very special offer for you for those who joined today. Today you can join this course for 11,700 online live course. Now you can choose whether you want video or live. Both of these for only 11,700 rupees. That is when you register yourself today. One more thing, it may happen sometimes that for some reason you were not available that day, or for some reason you didn't attend on a certain day. It was your wife's or husband's birthday on Sunday, and then you couldn't attend the course. Every time the course is conducted, the video is uploaded and you will have access to that session's video over the week. So that way you have the video to see even if you miss something and come back for the next weekend with the right knowledge. Come back for the next weekend with whatever was already done so that you are still updated. So video access is there, you don't miss anything, and our handholding is there throughout the course, during the sessions and after the sessions as well. Me and Mehrnosh will handhold you through this course. A very powerful, very awesome course. Many people have already done this and they have really seen the benefits. And I invite all of you to join this course. Now, how do you get access to the course? Let's have a look. It's very, very simple. You have two choices. Number one, you can go to this link, pawanbhattat.com/NLP, pawanbhattat.com/NLP. There you will get a course brochure. So you will get to know what all is covered. You can download the brochure from there, and there is a button to register for the course as well. So there is a link to register for the course. You can click that button and join the course by completing the payment. Option two, if you want the brochure on WhatsApp and the link on WhatsApp, then my WhatsApp number is here. Most of you already have it, 955-278-2037. You can drop me a message. I'll attach the brochure to you and I'll send you the link for the payment. And option three, you can make a Paytm to this number also. These are the three choices you have. When you join today, it is 11,700. Tomorrow it becomes 14,700 again. So that's about the course. And I really, really invite all of you to join it. I promise you it's going to be a wonderful time. The video access is not lifetime. It is only course time. Until the course is there, you have access to the videos. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open the forum for questions. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And meanwhile, I'm going to show some testimonials on the screen. So you can see those testimonials while I'm answering questions. That way, you also get to know what other people who have done the course think about this course. Fine. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand. Otherwise, you can go to the link and complete your registration. And then I'll see you next Saturday for the first session of the course. Okay. So allow you to ask questions one by one. Please raise your hand when you have a question. Meanwhile, I'm putting some testimonials on the screen. Meanwhile, I have a question on the chat. I get very nervous when I have to talk in front of strangers. Is it possible to recover? Absolutely, yes. You can remove that nervousness of talking to strangers, nervousness of talking to seniors. All of this you can definitely remove with what you will learn in NLP. You can also remove fears of lizards or heights. All these phobias you can remove with NLP. Here's your next testimonial. Okay. Uh, Div- Krish, your question, please. Krish, please unmute and ask.
Yes, sir. Yeah. When it comes to language, like, why is it like majority of the smart people, like the smart ones, they speak to themselves in a different language, like whether it's Hindi or their mother tongue, and when they communicate with the other person, like they speak in English or like whatever the surrounding is. Like, is it true? Like, is it has to be that way?
It doesn't have to be that way, but it is that way for many people. We all have a certain language of thinking. When you say speaking with yourself, that's a language of thinking. And that generally is your mother tongue. But for some people, eventually, if they have been in the other language for more time, then that changes also. Right? So there's a language that you use to think with yourself based on what you have been grown up with or what you have used more in your life. And then there is a language that you have for talking to people. That depends on whom you are talking with. With a localite, you'll talk in local language. With other people, you may talk in English or Hindi or whatever. Okay.
But there are people who just speak English. So is it that they think in English and they speak in English
It's
as
not
well?
about what language you are using. It's about what words you are using. It's not about whether you think in English or Hindi. It's about what is the terminology you use. Whether you say I can't swim or whether you say I can't swim yet or whether you say मुझे तैरना नहीं आता or do you say अब तक मुझे तैरना नहीं आता or do you say अब तक मैंने तैरना नहीं सीखा means now you take charge of the situation. मैंने नहीं सीखा है तो मैं सीख भी सकता हूँ. Getting the point? It's about the content, not the English or Hindi or whatever. Fine. Which language you will use depends on where you grew up. If you were born in France, you would have talked in French. You are here, you'll speak Hindi. You learned English, you'll speak English. If you were born somewhere else, you'll speak something else. It is about the content or the words, the terminology that you use. Okay.
So we have to see like which language provides us the most positive content, and we use that
All
language for our
languages have
mind.
the power to give you positive content. All languages have it. You don't have to change the language for that, for sure.
It's upon us how we take it.
It's upon you. Yes.
Okay. Because there are people who speak 7 languages. So for a person like them, he might just
It's
speak to
about how
himself
many
in
you have
one
learned.
language,
You
like
can
any
speak
rough.
seven, you can speak 10, or you can speak only one. It is about what content you use in the language. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
So it's fine if we just speak and think in the same language.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Okay. Okay. There's a question on the chat.
Okay.
I have a phobia with odd numbers. It may not good to start some work at odd time. Can we correct it with NLP? Yes, we can. I can I can overcome my fear of presenting using NLP. Absolutely. In fact, almost all presenters, trainers go through NLP sometime or other in their life to be good at it. Right? Okay. Um, will there be any certificate? Yes, this is a certified program. The certificate that you get is an international certificate, internationally valid certificate. It is approved by ANLP of UK, Association of NLP in the UK, a very, very powerful governing body of NLP. and that certificate is completely valid throughout the world. So it's a certified program. There is an assignment that you have to submit after the program. It's a simple assignment, but still you have to submit it, and then you get certified as an NLP practitioner. Can it improve communication in relationships? Absolutely yes. Relationships is all about communication, right? How you communicate decides how your relationships are. And that's what you learn in NLP, communication, right? Okay. Have you trained traders to success? Yes. But success about holding their discipline of trading, not about what to buy and what to sell, but how to be disciplined in their trading. That's what we have done. Fine. Uh, the medium of this course is English. Tools can be applied in all languages. Yes, the medium is English. Tools can be applied in all languages. I have a phobia of stage fear. I have recovered my stage fear with NLP, just so you know. How it is different from personality development programs. Personality development programs tell you what is generally correct. NLP teaches you to particularly observe every single person separately. What I tell you may make some effect on you. The same sentence to other may make another effect. And it's a very different program. It's a very, very practical and tool-based, techniques-based program. Fine. There's a question, 11,700 is for recorded or live. It is for both. Today's offer is you get both, recorded as well as live. Okay, meanwhile, Yogendra Patil, you can unmute and ask.
Sir, is there any facility, or you can say, is there any type that one-to-one communication with every participant, or required for that participant that you can consult with the specific problem and get the solution or advice in?
This is a group course, so obviously the entire training is in groups. In the Q&A session, you are open to ask your questions, ask your queries, and we'll give you right suggestions to resolve them. Plus, within the course also, for each method, each tool that we teach, there is volunteering, there are breakout sessions where you talk with other people and you practice what you have learned. All of that is there.
Okay. Because some questions maybe I don't seeing that if everybody is open up with their every personal questions,
If it's
but
a very
if
personal
general
question,
questions,
then one off, yes, we will help you address that also.
okay.
Okay. Murugesan is asking how long is the recording valid? The recording is valid till the end of the course. Would you help to remove schizophrenia too? Not necessarily directly help to remove schizophrenia, but definitely help you manage it to a certain extent. If it's a medical condition, that we always recommend that you talk to your doctor. But NLP has been proven to help people to manage it to a certain extent. Can I overcome stage fear? Yes, you can. I have overcome stage fear using NLP. Okay. Now, next, Babel, your question, please. Babel,
Yes, sir. Hi, good evening, sir.
good evening.
Actually, I have got most of my answers. I'm more concerned.
Okay.
I'm willing to, first of all, I am willing to join the course, but since I am right now pursuing my research, so I have already joined a course and I have my classes from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So the time is
Okay.
clashing. Probably after April, if you again offer such,
Definitely. You have two choices. You can join this course. It may happen sometime in April.
yeah,
Optionally, if it is only till 8 p.m., then that much part you can see the video. But I leave the choice to you. I don't want to force you. You
okay.
choose whether you want to do it now or
I'm
later.
still in a
Okay?
kiosk. I'm still in a kiosk. Yes, sir.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
And if
thank
you
you.
have any more queries or you want clarity, you can also drop me a WhatsApp message.
Actually, okay, fine, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Divya Thakkar. Divya Thakkar, you can unmute and ask. Okay. There are some other questions about speed reading, etc. Yes, the speed reading program is happening on February 20. Drop me a WhatsApp message on this number for more info on that. This forum I will limit to a discussion on NLP. And for other questions, other courses, you can drop me a WhatsApp message. My team will definitely get back to you. There's a question on the chat. I don't speak English with confidence. Can we help it? Yes, we can help you gain the confidence. However, practicing English will be required. That's an additional effort you will have to do apart from the NLP course. There's a question, if the video is available till the last session, then what about the video of the last session? Okay, so there are 5 weekends of the course, and then there is an additional, after 1 week, we do your convocation. So we give you an assignment to do that assignment, and then you come for the certification ceremony. There's a convocation ceremony. So till that ceremony, the video remains, and that way you can get access to it. So the last course video is also there. Don't worry, last day's video. Fine. The dates are from 13th February. It will be every Saturday and Sunday for the next 5 weekends. So from coming Saturday, every Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for the next 5 weekends. Okay. Nikita, I want to learn English fluently. That's a different topic, Nikita. You may have to find the right person to teach you English. Great. If there are any more questions, I have enabled the ability to unmute and ask. So you can just unmute yourself and ask if you have any more questions, or else we can call it a day.
So in this program, like, will we learn how to conquer a fear? Like for me, fears, heights is a fear for me. Like for me, fear is skydiving. Like
Absolutely.
I have a lot
We
of fear.
call it phobia. We call it phobia. So there are two types of fears. One is a fear which is a regular general fear, like fear of driving.
Okay.
And there are other fear which is a
Okay.
fear that freezes you. When you are at a height, you kind of get frozen. You have no idea what to do, right? So that is what
Yeah.
we call as phobia. And both these fears can be addressed using methods in NLP, and we teach both these methods in this course.
So is it like after I do this course, I'll be able to face this challenges like skydiving, for example? I'll be able to
Yes,
face them.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely, and 100% yes.
Okay. And
Okay. Okay, Vijay Sharma is asking how it is different from personality development programs. Vijay, personality development programs will generally tell you how you develop yourself, how you look good, how do you present, how do you eat at a dining table, how do you how do you make meaning of somebody's body posture. For example, a personality development program may tell you never fold your hands when you talk to people, because that means you are close to their opinion. But this is not right. This is generally correct, but not always correct. NLP teaches you how to gauge whether for this person that I'm talking to right now, folding hand means he is absorbing, or folding hand means he is rejecting. Some people actually listen much better like this. When I listen much better when I'm like this. But for some people, this is completely closed. So personality development development trainings will tell you what is the general traits, and they will focus more on how you look good and be good and feel good. NLP tells you how to achieve the outcome that you want to achieve. How do you change your behavior? How do you manage your states? How do you manage your emotions? How do you make some processes on you? How do you invoke a certain curiosity when you need it? How do you influence people? How do you influence your negotiations? That all comes into NLP.
Are
I hope
there
I answered you. Yes.
are there any other dates available than this February course?
No, for now it is February. Another batch may start sometime in April.
Oh,
Amreen, the cost is 11,700 when you complete your registration today, and then tomorrow it goes back to regular cost of 14,700. Can it help overcome depression? It can definitely help you manage your depression, and in some cases overcome it. Now it depends on what is the degree of depression you have and what are the reasons behind it as well. But yes, it has the ability to help you overcome depression. Yes, there is a convenience fee when you pay on the link, but optionally you can pay by Paytm on the WhatsApp number, and that will save you of the convenience fee if you want. Great. So I think I've answered every question in the chat and every question on the forum. So if you have any more questions, feel free to send them on my WhatsApp number. The number is here, and I invite all of you to join this course. You can go to this link, download the brochure, download and get the link to make the payment. And here's the WhatsApp number that you can use to um, get in touch with me if you have any more questions. Sachin has a wonderful question. Does it help in quitting smoking? Yes,
So
it does. Yes, it does. If you want to quit,
So,
it does. If you want somebody else to quit, then it may or may not. But if you want to quit, it will help you.
so
Yes,
you mean this course is going to transform us into a complete new person?
every course actually transforms into a new person, but this course will transform you into a new person that you want to be. It's a very, very researched course. There are no opinions in this course. Everything that you will learn is research backed and data backed. It has been applied on, it's like your vaccine. It has been tested on people, and then what works is coming to you. Similarly, this is tested on people, and this is not like our corona vaccine, which is tested only 6 months. This has been tested for decades. This is all research material that is coming to you, not opinions. Not, I think you should do this to solve that. No, this is what people have done and solved this, and this will work for you. So that's the difference between what we do in NLP and a typical personality development
Or
course.
is it going to be like for 2 days, like the speed reading thing, or it's going to be like for 5 days?
It is 5 weekends, 5 Saturdays and Sundays, 3 hours each. So 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. India time.
Okay. What if any person misses, like by bad luck, he
I
just
told you
misses
the
it?
video is available. When the course is over, when that lecture is over, we record the lecture and we upload the video and make it available to you. That way, you don't have to miss anything. You can see the video and come back to the next course, next lecture.
Okay, sir.
Great. For those who want to pay by Paytm, I have put in the number and the amount here. And for those who want to pay by the link, I will put the link here as well. So you can directly go there and make your payment. That way it's a bit easier for you. Here it is. The payment link will have a additional, what do you call, convenience charge on top of 11,700, and Paytm won't have it. Okay. GPay and PhonePe isn't there. But if you want UPI or something, I may have it. I'll have to check. Drop me a WhatsApp message, Murugesh.
And after making the payment, should you send the screenshot to your
You
WhatsApp
don't
number?
have to. If you do a Paytm, then you must send a screenshot. If you do make it on the link, you don't have to send anything. You automatically
Okay.
get added to the training. Great. So I'll be here for half a minute more to check if you have more questions, or else we call it a day. It's been a wonderful weekend. We just completed my 25th hour for a lot of people, and then we also did this art and science of success. It's been a great weekend for us. Okay, then let's call it a day. Thank you so much for joining in, and I look forward to see you next Saturday at the course. Thank you.